Just met the newest addition of your squad. What was your reaction to the team signing him, and what can you tell us a little bit about Javon?
Well, just watching Javon over the years, just his level of toughness, professionalism, defensively, he is a tenacious defender, getting after the basketball. He pushes his teammates. You know you're going to get that from him, and his ability to knock shots down as well. So I think those things are the key pieces. What he brings to the table for us.
You just mentioned his highlights, but is that what you guys want him to do? What do you expect his role to be for this team?
Yeah, I mean, I think that this year, as we continue throughout the year, I think it's going to be more about how we continue to see what the system is about, how he gets acclimated first. But when he steps on the floor, it is going to be the guy that guards 94 feet, that puts pressure on the other guards that he's going against, that's able to distribute and get guys involved offensively, and then when he's open, be able to knock shots down.
Does Jeff talk with you? Hey, we're going after Javon Carter. What is that process like, and when were you made aware that this is who we're adding to the team?
Yeah, that's the one thing that we try to keep in-house about how we talk about it, but we do have levels of communication when it comes to things like this.
You guys talked over the last few days about trying to get back to your basics and kind of back to those defensive principles. How does adding a new player kind of help you get back to those basics, meaning integrate someone who may not know exactly what you're running?
Yeah, you get good reminders again, because a lot of times as you're going through the film session and the walkthrough, they're not used to some of the terminology or the way we do things, but the more we can keep it simple so they can get a hold of it, now it's the reminder to the guys of exactly what we do and our fundamentals back to the defensive side of the ball.
How much do you feel like your guys got back to Magic basketball the last game?
I thought there was a ton of it. I really do, holding them to 98 points. But it was more about the way in which we did it. I thought our guys did a great job of getting into the basketball, being physical, doing the best defense without fouling, being in gaps, early help, communicating with one another. I think those are the things that we continue to look for to make sure that these guys are getting back to our brand of basketball.
How do you integrate somebody new in the middle of the season while trying to keep your process the same?
To Philip's question, I think it goes back to just integrating the habits. As we have walkthroughs and shoot-arounds, and whenever we can get a practice in our system, it turns into that. It turns into going back to the fundamentals of what we do, and then as he gets on the court, then him being able to recognize exactly what it is because he's seen it through the walkthroughs and through the practices.
How's Franz doing? He's out again tonight.
Yeah, Franz is doing a bit better. I think he's going to get on the court and do some work today, and then we'll see how he responds to that.
Has the decision been made about whether or not we're going to try and get him back before the All-Star break? Has that been discussed?
I mean, there's been a lot of discussions, and like we've always said, it's just going to depend on how we respond to treatment. And I've told you this before, ideal world, you always want a guy back sooner, but the smart thing is to understand exactly how he's responding to everything, and we got to make sure we're playing for the long game as well.
Kind of on a similar vein to you guys adding Javon, the Jazz are going to be adding some new players tonight, including possibly Jaren Jackson Jr. As you're preparing for a team, obviously their tape doesn't quite jive with the new personnel, but how do you prepare or think about them when you don't have that tape and don't really know how they're going to integrate the new players?
I think that's why it's so important that we just focus on what we do well. Understanding the personnel that you're going up against. So if just for instance, if there's a pick and roll with Lauri Markkanen and Keontae George, what would our coverages be in that situation? That's what these guys need to register. It's different than if it's with Jaren Jackson. So knowing who you're guarding and how you're guarding them is going to be more important than that necessarily the whole game plan, because you can't give the game plan because you don't know who's playing officially for them yet.
We do know what Jaren Jackson brings to the table. What do you think he adds to this Utah squad?
I mean, rebounding, shot blocking, a guy that you can throw the ball to on the block that can go get a basket. He's just a presence down there around that rim, both sides of the ball. So our guys being smart in how we attack him, and also knowing exactly where we can put him in situations, but also smart when he's at that rim. So he brings a great element to this team for them.
Javon said he'll have a jersey tonight. So you expect him to be available potentially to see the court tonight?
I expect him to be available, but as the game goes on, we'll know exactly who's going to pop in and pop out, as it is with this team, just making sure that guys are ready when their number's called.
How much does his experience in the league help in a situation like this where he's parachuting into a brand new team?
I think it's always a benefit when a guy has experienced different teams, different situations, different coaching, that they understand how to adjust to it. They ask the right questions. Our coaches do a great job of getting these guys acclimated to what it is, so I think that's very important for us as well.
Good deal.